Welcome to RMM Help. In this session we provide an overview of the other costs and expenditure, which are sometimes called or referred to as overhead costs, which are used in our work costing. These are set up in administration, our work code files, and the system automatically opens at the work expenditure and other costs form. This is a user-definable data option. It's used during work feedback in calculating our work costs, and the makeup of work cost is labour from our directly employed staff costs. That's calculated as the number of hours multiplied by a charge out rate. A material cost obtained with a direct link to stock management, and it's the number of parts multiplied by the parts selling price. And then our other costs and expenditure, which includes our free format items here, which can include any costs incurred or other charges. As can be seen in our sample data here, it's extremely flexible. We've got contractors' charges, labour and material, general overhead charge, material, packaging, parts, staff mileage, transport, and if we wanted to, we could just put in a total job cost. So this makes it extremely flexible, but let's have a look at where our other costs and expenditure are entered. So if I go into our work processing, and in this case I'll highlight a job and we'll take the first job, and if I look in feedback, this is where all our costs are presented, and we've got an overhead cost here of £45. And if we want to see how that's calculated, we go into other costs. We've used staff mileage at that value, general overhead charge of that value, and if I wanted to choose another value, I could take, for instance, a material charge, and I could say that's cost us £10. I'll enter that, and I'll save that, and our £45 will now increase to £55, and if I go back to feedback, you can see that our overhead cost has increased. So that's how we set up and we utilise our other costs and expenditure. But just before we finish, if I could mention that these costs are reflected in reporting. So if I look at one particular report, the cost estimate report, we've got some dates already set. If I set the completion status as not complete, our owner as the facilities management department, and I run the report, let me just hide the actions, and you can see the job that we've just been looking at, 422855, we've got our labour cost, our parts cost, our overhead cost of £55, and that then gives us a total job cost. So that concludes the overview of other costs and expenditure in RMM.